I'm Jennifer Beal, and I've been teaching kids how to memorize their times tables for a long time, and I've developed some surefire ways that work great. The first thing I do to teach the kids their 3s and 4s is I make sure that if they hold their fingers in front of them like this, so they're looking at the back of their hands, that they know what number each finger would be if they were counting to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first thumb on the left hand is 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now that might seem easy, but a lot of kids don't have that down. And what I want them to be able to do is just immediately know what finger I'm pointing to or touching. So if I touch this finger, they know it's finger number 7, 5 plus the 6, 7. If I touch this thumb, they know 5. If I touch this thumb, they know 6. So that is really important. I practice with the kids until I know they all know which finger is which. And if I'm working with a whole class, I can have everybody hold up their fingers and I'll say, okay, wiggle your 9th finger, and I can quickly check and make sure everyone in the class knows what finger is number 9. So this is the first thing I do. Once they know their finger number, I now teach them to skip count. So we're going to skip count by 3s first. And so what I do is on the board or on a piece of paper, I can trace their hands on a piece of paper. I can just make giant hands on a whiteboard like this. I write the numbers above the finger, and then I talk about how we're going to skip count. So we're going to count by 3s, and so we know this will be 1 3, and then 2 3s, 3 3s, 4 3s, 5 3s, and so on. And what I do is I teach them this chant, and I'm going to write it down. If I'm doing it on the board, I would write the number here. So 3 would go here. And this is my chant. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 21, 24, 27, 30. So I always repeat the last 4 fingers. Then I make sure that they can say that chant just like I did, and what it is I tell them we go quick, 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 then we give a double beat for each of the thumbs, and then quick, 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 twice. So here, I'll say it again for you. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 21, 24, 27, 30. And I'm going to write those in right now. Like I would for the kids, because if I'm teaching a whole class, I let them chant it while they're looking at the numbers on the board. So they're all going to chant it over and over until they have memorized it. And the kids really like to do this. I'll slowly erase some of the numbers until I think they've got it. Some of the kids will volunteer to turn around and face away from the board and say the whole chant. I'm going to say it one more time. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 21, 24, 27, 30. Okay, so once the kids can skip count quickly, they can use that as a crutch to answer any of the 3 times tables. So that is the first step, but it's not enough. What I really want them to do is to actually be able to memorize the times tables and not to have to skip count to get to the answer. So here's what we do. What I start out with is I say, look, there's 2 teen numbers, and they're your thumbs. So I say, so look, we know this is finger 5, so 5 times 3 is 15, and 6 times 3 is the other thumb, that's the other teen number, 18. So as soon as I show them that, they quickly memorize 5 times 3 and 6 times 3. So I find that really helps. Then we talk about these 3 fingers, which these 3 facts are the hard ones, 7 times 3, 8 times 3, and 9 times 3. But I say, look, they're all in the 20s. 7 is going to be before 8, so 21 is before 24. And then 9 is the one right before 10 times 3, so it's the one right before 30. 9 times 3 is 27. So I practice with the kids over and over until they can just get them quickly. And what they can do that is very helpful is they can take a piece of paper, a regular piece of paper, and I can trace their hands, and then I can write the answers for them just like I did on the board. And I can write the fact, the times table, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3 threes, 4 threes on the top. And then they can they can study on their own. Or they could study with a partner. A partner could touch one of their fingers, like this one. And then what I have them do first is say, that's my 7th finger, 7 times 3 is 21, and they can just check right away. If someone touches 9, they go 9, this is my 9th finger, 9 times 3 is 27, and they can check by moving their finger. It really works. I've seen kids memorize their 3 times tables in about 10 minutes using this strategy. So I really recommend it. Now I have a different chant for the 4s. So I don't teach the 4s until I know they've totally memorized their 3s. They don't need the chant anymore. They've just got it down so well. And once they know their 3s, I start over by tracing their hands, and I teach them a different chant for the 4s. The chant for the 4s goes like this, and I'll hold my hands like this starting over here so the camera can see it, but normally I have the kids looking at their hands, palms down. Okay, so the 4s chant goes like this: 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and a lot of times I'll slap the table with 20. So I'm going to do that again. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. And that's my chant for the 4s. I pretty much do the same thing. I have them put their hands, I trace their hands, I put in the answers under their finger, and then we practice. We look at some of the patterns we can see. And anyway, try this method. I think it'll really work.